What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing in the chat? Shout out to everybody that stopped by. I'm not gonna hold you too long, but I just had to slide through because y'all already know that when we have a little bit of a breakthrough, when we start to see things start to lighten up in R. Kelly's favor, damn, I gotta remind myself, say Robert, shit. When we see things change in Robert's behalf, of course, these mainstream media outlets are going to put out more content that's going to make you feel some type of way. But trust and believe. We all know, as I've been showing you from day one, this is all politically motivated. So if we just keep the faith, don't let all this stuff coming out get us emotionally bothered, then we'll recognize that just sit back and wait. You know what's crazy? I'm looking all around the internet. I'm seeing all these people talking they shit in the black community. You got some over here happy Bill Cosby is out, but still casting so much judgment on other people. And like I mentioned before in my last upload, it's very ironic considering we all know this is just going to open the door for all these people who were targeted by the Me Too, in my opinion. Why? Because this group took it upon themselves to try to bend the damn law and do what they want to do. And then rile the public up to bypass the law to fill their agendas. This has been clear to me from jump. But at the end of the day, we not here for it anymore. We are not our ancestors. We have all the technology to keep bringing awareness to what's going on so that maybe, just maybe, other people won't stumble down this same road. Also, on that token, it also may shed light as to why the black community is so quick to condemn one another. I could tell you this incident where a friend of mine got found himself in a situation. This guy's a felon. He got caught with a gun. Of course, that's a no-no. However, we went and collected the information, including the stop that was initiated by officers was unlawful. Like we have the speeding ticket, the speeding sign, all this evidence to prove that the stop itself was unlawful. So regardless of them finding the gun in his possession, it don't change the fact that y'all violated his rights. You didn't get consent to search his vehicle for one, and you did so. So when you have issues like that going on in everyday life, and all these people so quick to take a plea deal, all these people are so quick to say, I'm guilty. However, it's time for us to start encouraging each other to start using our common sense. Why is it these people over here, they can commit all kind of crimes and yet they just get slapped on the wrist? They develop all these little technicalities to clear them. Meanwhile, they make this big deal about other people. It's strange.
Love and happiness. Yeah. Something that can make you do wrong, make you do right.
See, if y'all don't know, I got an old spirit. This is what I grew up listening to. And I'm in my 30s. So, age is nothing but a number. However, I just know bullshit when I see it. And when you look at how our music has been transformed and it went from something that we could be creative through, something we can express ourselves, talk about what we're going through, what we see and we experience, to being infiltrated by all these outsiders pushing these lifestyles onto us. Am I the only one noticing this? Why is it every time you turn on the TV, you see some girl bent over? Why is it R. Kelly is being charged with the Mann Act? However, you got girls out here making songs talking about getting flued out. What you getting flued out to do? Make that make sense. You got all these shows that were birthed that were flying girls in to find love, flying men in to find love. You see all this footage from these concerts where all these groupies are lined up at these artists' door. But you think we finna sit here and just keep pointing the finger at R. Kelly? They said R. Kelly music is targeting is for young kids. Man, I'm not going for that. I'm not going for that. Considering the way music is set up now, mm-mm. I'm telling you, EJ, they is big mad about this Cosby. They is mad. They is big mad. They over here talking about all this trauma they done been through, but they dealt with it all these years, and just a couple years ago, that was the time for them to strike. It's just ridiculous. The fact that people feel like they can undermine. Hold up, this was crazy. We had all our ancestors out here fighting and demanding for our equal rights, and even though we still don't fully have them, people will just sit by and let these people manipulate the laws right in our face. So, of course, there's nothing wrong with peaceful protests, or if you want to demonstrate. If you and your group, you want to say, get together and say how much you dislike this genre of music. Like, say we wanted to get together and boycott this thought culture. Okay, that's a whole different story than going and demanding these record labels to fire them, demanding these concerts to cancel all their shows, like all that extra stuff in between. Then how can you say because you don't like something, this person does not have the right to eat, this person does not have the right to pay their bills, meanwhile the good old government still want they shit? You ain't gonna get around that. It don't make no sense. But they'll feed us this narrative that his music is for minors, is to target minors. And like I said, when I started to go down his catalog, I beg to differ, especially when, let's say, you're having a long day. And this song, personally, for me, it always lifts my spirit when, let's say, I'm having a janky day, a messed up day. I just feel like it's me against the world, and I just need somebody to give me a hug or something. This song right here, this it.
Dear mama, you wouldn't believe what I'm going through. Still, I got my head just like I promised you. Ever since you left, your baby boy's been dead. Problem after problem, so what am I supposed to do? Don't sometimes understand this place. In the mirror sometimes, see your troubled face. And then my tears roll down and hit the sink. And I hold my head up high. Head up, says, in my cry. I'm supposed to be that one night. Jesus told me why you in my side. I'm still trying to get the answer why. I had to die. I'm always trying to help people out. There's some friends, people trying to take food out my mouth. For real, I've seen the real money around me. For real, don't wanna like try to play. For real, don't try to turn into the positive. For real, don't let me in. You realize that I don't know you nothing. You feel comfortable, but you can't picture on something. I'm pulling on my hair, keep you snapping off. Who's right up in my tail, so you acting off. Somebody up at these pulling what I'm talking about. You know I'm talking, you can get on now. And I need go, but she's nobody. You embrace it, go. You're like a change heart. You know what I need is a sign of words in your heart. So what you love, yeah. 13 years of my life to this industry. To the song I've given all of me. The sound in my face and tell me that you love me. And before you know the truth, you're so quick to judge me. As I go ahead and keep talking. Oh, as I'm gonna put my head up and I keep walking. And reach for the sky, focus on the plan. Rescue the kid with this paper in hand. And this is for the ones that we lost. And we cannot forget y'all. Let's come on, please. Really looking out for the memories of all of the cement and Curly Street. Be careful, stay alive. And pray for your families and pray for mine. Used to be a time you wish you were real. Wish to know you don't see me say for real. Don't forget I kept you out of jail for real. When you needed to be held. Don't take a chance on you. Who you never leave. You said you're coming for a season. You chose together trying to pick up all the pieces. You betrayed me, but you didn't choose. So glad you feel what I'm talking about. You know that it's a good all around. Change heart, you know Man, I tell you it's enough to make you wanna give it up. Thank God for my fans, just do it all, they show me love. To my sister and two brothers, tell me why can't we just try to get along with one another? Instead of hurting one another, fighting one another. Man, I pray God to get my family back together. You see what I wanna see, just glad right now, you push me out in front to get behind me. You say you want to mind me. One man of kids now, stay so high. Gotta go to church now, avoid the fire. Don't be hard to keep it real, just tired. Jesus being dead, the devil is alive. For real, church should be the step judge. For real, you will be the first to be judged. For real, and you got the feeling on my feeling. For real, I'll be killing you every day. What I'm feeling, hey, that's what I need to do. Get real, get myself on. Me out to your job, please.
Ain't that crazy? How many? You know how many? It's a lot of songs he's sitting here telling himself he need to get rid of his whole crew, and yet we just see the same cycle. That was the major point I wanted to keep showing you, that we just see the same cycle, and people will say some shit like, well, where there's smoke, there's fire, but you fail to realize the people out here just dropping all these landmines everywhere. Of course, you're going to see some sparks crackling somewhere, but at the end of the day, all you had to do was just line up the facts. If what they say is true, why is it so hard for their facts to remain true?
So hard. Somebody please clear what I'm talking about. Feel I'm trying to figure it all out. I need her, take your time, embrace the love, change heart. You know what I need is a sign of words from God. Shout out, that you love me, take me, lift me up. Yeah, yeah. I'm falling in love, and I need you know we need to smile what you love.
So, how many of y'all noticed that? Just like with the last trial, I pointed out to you that Jeffrey Epstein was having the same situation going on back then. And his good old friend, Chuck Schumer, and can't think of the dude name, start with an A. I'm gonna think on it. But anyways, he helped Jeffrey Epstein get his little sweetheart deal. Meanwhile, they're over here pushing R. Kelly to take a plea deal. Hmm. That would have suited them just fine for this man to take a plea deal, right? Same thing with this situation. Put all this stuff up against him, make it seem like it's going to be impossible to see his way out, and hope that he takes a plea. And if we can't get him to take a plea, then we going to get some other people to take a plea and point the finger at him. Period. I don't know what y'all know, but have y'all ever heard of Big Meech? We had a celebrity by the name of Rick Ross who used to be a probation officer who took on a drug dealer's persona and then go on and shouts out Big Meech just like a lot of these artists do, and nobody is recognizing how they're grooming these new artists, these I don't even know what you call them, crash dummies, to come out here and take on these personas and influence us all to want that lifestyle. And we already know where that's going to lead, considering a lot of these record labels are heavily invested in private prisons. Thank you. Who was the super chat from? Let's see. 1-1. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Um, Do you know how many arguments I have been in with my family, my friends about that very thing? R. Kelly suing these people with all these stories. But I'm gonna take you a step further. They're telling us R. Kelly is this Rico, right? He's a Rico. However, you got people like Jim Derogatis who were able to go for all these years planting these narratives, and you want us to believe that R. Kelly is this head enterprise leader with these mob ties, but he ain't gonna go over and handle Porky. He ain't gonna go and send none of these goofy motherfuckers that come on the internet. He ain't gonna send them to go punch Tim Savage in his motherfucking mouth. I don't understand that shit. We all seen the footage of Tim threatening R. Kelly. Shit. It is so hard for me to say his name because, of course, I was raised to respect your elders. You don't call people by their first name, especially when you don't know them. But this whole YouTube, they be tripping with my algorithms. But anyways, we supposed to believe this man is the head boss of this enterprise. He can get all these crazy fans to do all this shit on the internet while there's an open investigation on him, meaning they could get him more charges right now doing what they doing. But instead of taking care of shit 20 some years ago, we gonna wait. That does that make sense to y'all? Somebody make it make sense. We gonna sit here and we just gonna figure out, am I the only one that came in here thinking about this shit like the fuck? And then you gonna tell me that R. Kelly is a pedo. However, go through them indictments, and I pointed out to you how the news keeps talking about these minors. However, they don't tell people that these girls are adults now. They were minors in the 90s. So you're giving that image that this man is still active in this lifestyle that they're accusing him of. However, it's a lie. Where's the cult? We see Beyonce's cult on the internet every damn day. We see Cardi B's cult. We see the winos. We see all these people in these cult-like fanatic groups or channels or just, I don't know what you call them. But we supposed to sit over here and hold R. Kelly responsible because people will do whatever the fuck he say do. So if R. Kelly say, I want you to put some acid in your nose, and your dumb ass put some acid in your nose, you gonna turn around and say, well, he abused his authority because I was just so starstruck. But even though I know good and goddamn well I don't supposed to put no acid in my nose, I'm gonna put the acid in my nose any fucking way. Like, come on now. Come on now. And then, icing on the cake. You done came out here with all this shit talking about this girl was missing. Come to find out, you knew where she been at. Come to find out, you had the opportunity to pick her up and keep her, I guess, when she graduated, but you sent her back. Like, it's a whole lot of shit that we realized following this story compared to what they came out saying. So obviously, quite naturally, they needed to keep a lot of people distracted with all this bullshit. So if you can get people to come out here and portray to be supporters over here, and people over here pretending to be opposed to him, and all this extra shit that's going on, all these people talking about I know him, and all these people doing the same groupie like shit to them, thinking just because they know R. Kelly, that means you gotta kiss their ass. Like, at the end of the day, they already know I ain't kissing nobody motherfucking ass. I don't give a damn if you know sweet baby Jesus. You ain't finna sit here and have me doing nothing crazy that my inner self tells me not to fucking do. Now, back to this coat. Where is it? Where is it? I'm watching all these people respond about Bill Cosby, but he's getting off on a technicality. But he said see, that's what happens when you don't go read paperwork for yourself. They took a deposition in which he was talking about an isolated event. He was talking about consensual events with other people, and yet they gave the impression they wanted to give to make it appear he was just out here slipping pills to people, and that was not the case. However, if you over here doing cocaine and to the left, I probably wouldn't think you were mine a little Molly or whatever the fuck we over here doing to the right. I'm just saying. People know that in that time they was doing some wild ass shit. So back to the point. Does that mean you can participate in some shit? You could be out here thotting in your younger days, and then when you get about 50 and your boobies hitting the floor, that means you could come back and say, well, you think you were manipulated, and you really didn't want to do this, but you just felt like if you didn't do it, somebody else would. How many of you have heard that when you were younger, when it comes to relationships? And a lot of women feel like, well, if I don't do this for my partner, he's going to go do this with somebody else. And the gag is, he's still going to go do that with somebody else. But shit, you still don't have to do nothing outside your boundaries. So that's the type of shit that I would respect some of these fake ass advocates to come out here talking about, instead of trying to make me believe that this motherfucker over here that done flip flopped her story 30 damn times and was just out here looking for a bag. I'm just supposed to run with what she say because we supposed to believe her. Hell no. Hell no. We still ain't resolved the issue in my eyes about what happened to Sam Cooke. Yet the good old black community was quiet. When what did he do? Oh, they had to start circulating information that he dealt with the underage girl. So of course, maybe that made people feel like we're not gonna say too much. But at the end of the day, why is it people feel like human beings come under animals? People will literally put you in jail about a fucking dog, some animal. However, have how many of y'all have been to jail? Just a question. I'm just curious. How many in the chat has been to jail? If you've been to jail, put a one in the chat. If not, put 2. I just want to know because I get the impression a lot of people on the internet hadn't been to jail because they acting like Mr. Kelly is at a spa or something. They acting like regardless of wherever he's at, he's gonna be comfortable. Let me tell you something about the most crazy experience I had, and I went to jail on some petty ass driving on suspended. I was pregnant, and I think some people, yeah, I was pregnant, and the whole thing was crazy as shit to me because it let me know that these police officers are accessing more technology because it was an unmarked car in front of me. They're driving down the highway. All of a sudden, they look in the rear view, get behind me, slow down, and run my tags. So apparently, my license had been suspended because my insurance had just lapsed the week before, and apparently I had to have my insurance on file for 6 months. This I didn't know, but anyways, when they got behind me, ran my tags, it came back my license was suspended. They come back and let me know that I have to go to jail. Okay, I go to court, and I'm one of them smart ass motherfuckers in jail. I'm in there like, shit, I don't give a fuck. I ain't finna get comfortable. Shit, I got my bail money. I don't care. I ain't staying in here talking my shit, right? I go in the arraignment. This man said, hold. Oh, hell no. I fell. I hit the floor, y'all. I almost died. I thought I was gonna die. They said 10 days, man, 10 days. In them 10 days, being that I was pregnant and I don't know, the craziest symptoms when I'm pregnant. I'm sick throughout my entire pregnancy. So I couldn't eat, couldn't drink. I'm practically dehydrating by day 6. And so a nurse ends up intervening and giving me some Finagrin. Well, when I asked for another dose of it, apparently she wasn't supposed to give me the Finagrin. So I don't know if she got disciplined or not, but I never saw her again. Following that, these people came and I guess you call them COs, correctional officers. They came in bringing the food trays, and they were upset because people didn't bring the trays back once we got finished. So when they came back, they started throwing the tissue on the floor. So when people started to complain about this, they opened up the door, they came in the cell, and they threatened to pepper spray everybody in there. It was me and 2 other pregnant women in this cell. Now, according to them, they were saying that we were threatening to riot. How are we threatening to riot because we're protesting you throwing our tissue that we have to wipe our ass with on the fucking floor? On top of that is mold everywhere. A little bit of digging, I'm in there just asking all kind of questions. I find out that this specific jail facility is supposed to be shut down because it's mold everywhere, and they're not trying to fix the problem. However, they're building a new jail facility. So they're going to keep housing inmates at this place until they move over to the new building. Well, anyways, the next day, another incident happened. 2 girls get into it. They're sitting right in front of me. Correctional officer comes in again, threatens to pepper spray yet again. This is the second incident where 3 pregnant women are in this room, and these people just keep threatening to pepper spray, knowing if you pepper spray one individual in this cell, you're going to pepper spray all of us. Now you're getting your water out of the toilet. You're using the bathroom, taking your showers, all that shit in front of people. Like, it is so much that goes behind closed doors. But the icing on the cake that really had me heated is, let's say you need to make calls. They have this system set up where you can send emails, like a lot of people talk about R. Kelly. Well, what if you're in a pod where the devices don't work well? So when people come to visit you, it's a camera on it. You can see their face, but you can't hear their voice. And all these stupid ass correctional officers got to say is, well, maybe you should sign language. However, you're still paying for this visit. You're still paying for a lot of shit in there that you're being inconvenienced by. I didn't get any socks. I didn't get a lot of shit that I know I was supposed to have, a blanket, a bed, etc. All this shit goes on daily in jail facilities. So to think that R. Kelly is just gonna be comfortable in any manner is crazy. So will I ever let anything coming out over just really set me over my emotions? No. You want to know why? Because it makes no sense to sit here and say, I believe in God, I am this child of God, however, I have absolutely no faith. Makes no sense.
Young Jock here. Welcome to another round of Looking Boy. Check it out. We got three contestants flew all the way down here from the Midwest, Chicago, that is. We got the homie Meatball. That's right. We got the homie Radio G. And we also got the big homie Crazy. Y'all ready for another round of Looking Boy? Show me your JLC. Black.
Y'all remember when music used to be fun like this? People could get on their platforms and have fun and just zone on you without somebody trying to pull up on you and try to kill you and do some old crazy ass shit. These people, I don't get it. I really don't. How many do you think, if this was their family and they had an open investigation going on, they would be on public platforms doing the things that they're doing? Like even now, I prefer you just get on here and just play some music than to get on here and facilitate narratives that you know are painting this man in a negative light. When at the end of the day, as I am hinting in this live, I have felt all along that whether it was sooner or later, all these things that we have witnessed go on in this case would affect it dramatically. You got them showing the evidence to people. They sit here and try to threaten us by saying, "Hey, well, anybody caught watching this tape is it's a criminal act." However, you got CNN live on TV talking about they seen it. You got text messages between Kim Fox, Avenatti, Kim Fox, Tina Chin, Kim Fox talking about pretty much giving Jesse Smollett the pat on the wrist, but making sure this guy goes down over here. Why? Why is it people can selectively punish who they want? Oh, I know. I already told you. Because these laws are not for us. So when we sit here and turn on one another and then get to run into them, like we don't realize that they'll use whatever necessary to fill their quotas, we part of the problem too. Sometimes I battle with myself. Do I want to say cancel this person, cancel that person, when that's just like them telling me mute R. Kelly? But at the end of the day, I feel like all these platforms, all these media sites, all these people need to be held accountable. To sit here and watch that damn girl, Janice Dickinson, and trust me, I used to like Janice Dickinson until I saw her on America's Next Top Model. And throughout that whole show, I saw a lot of things that rubbed me the wrong way as an adult that I didn't look at the same way as a teenager. However, it's red flags everywhere when you got all these adults coming on fabricating these stories and then people just running with it just because, oh well, they were so convincing. Like Dream Hampton, for example. How in the fuck can you sit here and say that you used Charlemagne the God before his allegations came out, when his allegations came out years ago? Years ago. The incident happened in early 2000, 2001, 2002. So you expect us, the general public, to believe that you did all this work to research these people accusing R. Kelly, but you didn't take no time to research the people spreading these narratives. You didn't think that these people's credibility would come into question. So when I saw Tim Savage coming on here talking about whole lifetime accountable, he said that because according to him, they knew. So regardless of what they'll come on here and say now, according to him, according to him, everybody knew these people were lying. And even if they didn't know they were lying, they should have verified information being put out there. The biggest thing people will say in response with this whole Bill Cosby R. Kelly thing, now that we've been out here doing our talking, they go back to the same thing like before. Remember that? The only things they could say before was, but he married Aaliyah, but he was on the tape. So we back at square one. Okay, well, I'm going to go to another level on that. If he had married Aaliyah, if she had lied about her age, don't you think when they allegedly annulled this, they would have also sealed that document? So when people come and comment, oh, go check this or check that, you're talking about information from a goddamn magazine that came from the same person that came with this damn docuseries. So I can't take it serious. Okay? That magazine, Dream Hampton, Barry Hankerson, all in the same thing. Now, I ain't gonna go down the Jay-Z rabbit hole. But it's funny, I keep hearing everybody talk about Baltimore, but y'all don't really dig into some real Baltimore connect. Now, the point of me bringing up the fact that Big Meats was getting out is because I don't know if you all have recognized, have any of you saw that in some articles, they're trying to say that Mr. Kelly is a vice lord. He's gang affiliated. Has anybody saw that? If you haven't, you should go and look it up. R. Kelly, vice lord. People are putting that narrative out there, and I don't think the sources are very credible. However, I think it was intentional to, again, you're painting the narrative this man is part of this RICO enterprise. Even though all these people been coming out here flapping their jaws for the longest about him, and he ain't done nothing, said nothing malicious toward them, they expect me to believe he's head of the enterprise. Yeah, just go and look up, do a Bing search, and just type in R. Kelly Vice Lord. And the reason why that was interesting to me, and I found that around the time that the news was reporting that R. Kelly was attacked. So I was like, R. Kelly, Vice Lord, Latin King. Hold up, hold up. This too much. This is too much. According to some, the Latin Kings and the Vice Lords are supposed to be affiliated or allies or however you want to call it. So then you had this person over here trying to make it seem like, R. Kelly had got somebody to attack him in jail so that he could get out. Like, all this shit they have been reaching. But at the end of the day, half that shit won't make it to court. What was another point that I thought about? Okay, as I was saying with the forfeiture of assets. Now, just reading it the way I perceive it, the indictments are basically saying that since he did and this, and got this money for this, he owes us. He been ducking and dodging our money. Now, if you look at his IRS history, you would realize that motherfuckers ain't been paying his taxes for quite some time. So, as I told you many, many times, when he got to asking and trying to prioritize and get his finances in order, that's when individuals got together and started to conspire. That's when individuals got together and started to reach out to these parents with these wild stories. Just my opinion. What do you think? Do you think that's what happened? Now, it's funny that I was on this R. Kelly saga page, and according to them, those Olsen twins came around 2018. But according to them, they said 2015, somewhere in that area. That would be around the time where what happened? Had Cash Howard, Asante McGee, Andrea Kelly all at the birthday party. I told you something big happened. And prior to that, Andrea Kelly was trying to get her groove back on with her baby daddy. But yet, he's so abusive. He's such a monster, according to her. It's just so many points that we could run through. But at the end of the day, the major objective of today's live was just to reiterate the fact that we've been on the right track. And again, unfortunately, they're using Robert Kelly as the guinea pig for this Me Too movement. They use Mr. Cosby as a guinea pig for this Me Too movement. And they open the door for people like Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, all these people. But what I find so crazy about the black community, the hypocrisy. Y'all remember when Kevin Spacey case was dismissed? The evidence just disappeared. Ain't nobody say shit. This man got on a national platform and released a skit saying if he go down, everybody go down. And just like that, his evidence in his case disappeared. And it was him, Weinstein, and 100 other people that made this infamous list of womanizers in the industry. Yet it seemed like to me, individuals saw Tarana Burke's Me Too movement picking up steam, so they attached themselves to it. And then they decided, we're going to try something else. They trying to empower these black girls. They're saying, we're here to uplift these brown girls. And that ain't the mission we sent them out here to do. We sent them out here to divide and conquer. And you know what's funny about that? Did y'all see Oprah the other night? Was it last night? She had something about strong black men. You see how they play these damn games? So you take part in all this slander against two legends. You skip your ass by Russell Simmons. And by the way, I wonder if him and Tamara Simmons are related. Got Tamara Simmons, Russell Simmons. He over here with Def Jam. They over here with all this weird ass behavior. They done had all kind of kids dropped off over there. You got P. Diddy and his orgy having ass all across. Like, I could just go on and on and on, but for some fucking reason, they want to play these games with R. Kelly. Nope, we not here for it. We not here for it. Mm-mm. We not here for it. What's up, Dana, EJ? I already spoke to you. Lavina, Willie, how y'all doing? What is that? But that was my major point. We already know that with everything they have done, they have made it possible for R. Kelly to be acquitted of his charges and or this case to be thrown out. One of the two. One of the two, in my eyes. For the simple fact, it's too much going on with this case. And one thing that stood out to me was I knew a long time ago that these Jane Does were going to be acting more like the Constantine woman. So again, why why people was sitting here like everybody, it's just crazy how people miss the important things about this. So these girls got on platforms and said they signed non-disclosures. So you signed non-disclosures, that means you weren't supposed to be talking about this. However, the the technicality to speaking out against non-disclosures is if there's criminal activity. So lo and behold, somebody had to put this bug in their ear to make them feel like they'd be cool if they speak. However, I feel like a lot of these people spoke and helped these people get these settlements because they know if they don't keep the stories going, there's going to be fraud. Because, like I said, I've seen a whole lot of documents with a variety of signatures on it. So I'm leaning towards a lot of this stuff that they say R. Kelly signed off on as being fraudulent. Good afternoon, Tyree. Exactly. Oprah, I ain't. Ooh, I ain't even gonna get on that Epstein log because that was another thing that made me mad about that damn John Legend. In 2009, you was behind him, cheering him on. But then you over here with this Jezebel, and if you go down her tweets, she over here talking about how little girls doing the splits make her feel some type of way, and blase, blase, blase. And you see, not too long ago, these people pulled her stuff out of their stores. It's funny, yet again, why didn't the black community call her motherfucking ass out? Why didn't the black community call out John Legend janky ass? And he was on that platform too with Oprah. See, it's funny they trying to do their little damage control and still trying to put out that image like, oh, they care about the black man. No. They only care about the black man that's going with their agenda. Exactly. I ain't even gonna get into the Oprah conspiracies because, that was what had me looking at her sideways because, of course, everybody loved the early Oprah. It seemed like she was a symbol for the black community. But then, somewhere, she got down with the program. Exactly. When they start throwing out that pizza term, see, that's what I'm saying. They know how to talk in code on these platforms. They got all these little hand gestures. They got all these little symbols and stuff. But real people see past it. So what do you all think about Greenberg? Cause it's funny, I just seen him tweet something else, and he was talking about an attorney that was working with Cosby. He was trying to get that attorney on on the case with R. Kelly as well. But again, why? See, I don't understand. It's funny the things that he and they respond to. Exactly. I told y'all, just being honest, he had me a long time ago when he said that Aaliyah lied about her age. So you ain't had a conversation with your client because your client clearly knew how old Aaliyah was, and now you're on record lying. So that's some bullshit. Greenberg has a history of speaking out of turn. But the icing on the cake was when I was on Dana's platform that day and they slowed down the footage and seen that Greenberg was there the day that they did that Gail King interview when he clearly said that he wasn't there. Like, why is you lying? Why is you lying? See, a lot of people also ain't talking about with this whole Cosby R. Kelly comparison. Monique Presley, where all these janky ass lawyers come from? Monique Presley was another attorney, one of these friends or whoever referred to him who was working with Cosby. However, she ended up being investigated for fraudulent activities, spending her client's money. So this is just yet another example. Are they looking up the most janky ass people and let's bring them around R. Kelly? And then we're going to sit on the internet and play dumb. Exactly. I started to watch what the movie was about because I saw Kevin Hart was in it, but then I think I watched 30 seconds of it. No, I can't even. I can't even. Absolutely, Senator saying he been on it. I gotta watch the last few uploads. I don't think I've seen the last two. I think I shared the last one I saw. But again, content creators like him, I would definitely share their content. Never had an issue sharing any content creators' content unless they're in the midst of bullshit. You can't be in the midst of bullshit on Monday and then put out some good content on Thursday and think I want to be like, hey, go look at this. When the way these people operate on the internet, if you refer somebody, they start to act like shit. You done birthed this person, that child, that person is your stepchild, basically. Do I think his finances has increased since he's been jailed for 2 years? Not to him. I think who's ever holding these publishing rights and things like that, they're seeing a rise because, mind you, somebody now just correct me if I'm wrong or not. Before all this scandal, it was like R. Kelly was low key. He wasn't all in the news. Like he wasn't. He was still touring. He was still doing his music. However, it wasn't just crazy like in the past, like the way he was touring in the past. So I could be wrong, but that's just what I perceived coming in. I hadn't heard much about R. Kelly until the scandal. And what's funny about Tom Messereau, I I want to believe the things he's saying, but some people are like, no, he's really just talking. But the way he puts himself out there, he's all about the justice system. He even said, like, if all else fails and a client and a person didn't have a defense counsel and didn't have any other means, he would take that case. So to me, it must have been some real crazy shit going on, and the way shit been on YouTube, I could I could imagine it. I don't understand why people ain't talking about the fact that I'm man, if y'all go look at that R is it what is it? RIAA? RIAA. If y'all go look at that, y'all will see how much money R. Kelly has generated. Sony, Jive, Zomba, all these people, RCA, Def Jam. If y'all look at all these companies, to be honest, should nobody came to the internet talking about no defense fund, no money, no nothing. I would have been knocking on RCA, Sony, Zomba, Jive, Def Jam, Russell Simmons. I would have been knocking on all they motherfucking dope. I wouldn't been on no internet talking shit. Number one, again, when you got the feds involved, they looking for the money. So people getting out here talking about money, money, that was just dumb. I don't understand that, but that's just my opinion. But anyways, that's what I would have been looking at. Shit, they the ones who owe his defense. They the ones who done profited throughout his whole career and still now. All it's so many artists that have passed away that are old in the age now that still don't own they damn masters. Somebody said something about there's this period in which you're supposed to get them, but they always think up some fucked up shit so that either you resell it or you fuck yourself out of your own shit. Exactly. But for a fact, before Surviving R. Kelly aired, and I don't even think that was correct, but before Surviving R. Kelly aired, they had his net worth 150 million. After Surviving R. Kelly aired, it was 100,000, and then it went to negative 2 million. How the fuck? Negative 2 million. So yeah, I'll be knocking at Zomba, RCA, Jive, all they doors. How can individuals who have not contributed, who have not raised these people all this money, go into this corporation and demand they fire their ace in the hole? Look at all these celebrities out here with record labels. Just think of how that would have turned if this man actually had people doing their damn jobs. He had actually got his record label up and kept it running with artists instead of all these people trying to introduce them to some people they trying to manage, trying to introduce them to their friends, their cousins and shit. That's all I'm saying. These people is crazy. How do you have a man on a public platform for all these years and people mute him, cancel him based on what other people said? Oh, because these people over here can't get the story. They can't get the juice. They can't get the tea. So we're gonna run with the lie, the gossip that's been put out there because he don't want to talk about his personal life. Well, considering that I have pretty much put my finger on each individual in the case, unless they're going to add some more Jane Does, no, I don't see a real victim. I don't see a real victim. All I see, I'm telling you, if y'all go and look at all the names these people done threw out there, the biggest mistake, some of them, some of these people who don't read the paperwork, they automatically assumed that all the girls from the docu-series was in the indictment, or only the girls in the docu-series were in the indictment. That's not true. But if you go and just look at all these rumors and allegations that have been put out there, it's not hard to track down. Trust me. I don't see no real victims though. Now what's funny is when I came out and pretty much made that known, you had another individual come out and say that, well, there's people that are still gonna come out or may come out and tell their story. Fuck all that. We don't want to see no fucking body else. If they got something to say, take y'all motherfucking ass to the goddamn police. Stop. Bring y'all motherfucking ass to YouTube. That's why we don't believe you. That bullshit. Y'all fucking y'all own credibility up. Trying to get some sympathy. Stay which channel that plays R. Kelly's music? I don't think none of them, just being honest. And the reason why I said that, let's think about it. Let's think about it. You had the Doublemint twins come out here feeling some type of way because whatever deal they done made, people out here leaking his shit. And they getting YouTube views, streams, they getting the money off of that. But them over here, they just got fucked over because obviously they don't know how to do business. So no, I don't think right now. No, I don't think so. Mm-mm. Just my opinion, though. Just my opinion. And furthermore, I don't even think they supposed to be releasing no music in R. Kelly's name. That's the reason why individuals came out here and released a song under Rob. From my information. But you know how I don't know nobody, so that could be wrong. I think if you look on R. Kelly Vivo, I think Sony them, the record labels is getting it. Yeah, I believe, because if you also look, R. Kelly has some deal in place where all the big three is getting money off of him. Universal, Sony, Warner. All three of them are generating revenue from R. Kelly. Like I've said before, he started with what, Jive, right? So when you recognize that all these record labels just basically sell the record label to this person, sell to this person, merge with this, merge with that, like it's almost like a monopoly, my opinion. But yeah, that's why I felt the way I felt about his music, and it ain't to hate, and it ain't to throw shade at folks. It's just if he authorized it, cool. But I know as a creative person, if my shit was being leaked, I would be hurt. I would be devastated. That would hurt. That would crush me, especially if I'm in a position like that and I ain't got no control over it. Like if somebody stole my shit out my house, I'm in jail. Somebody broke in my house, stole all my shit, and sold all my shit because They know it's valuable and they feel like, well, I don't need it. What the fuck? It's still my shit. The fuck? Excuse me. I think I'm getting a little cold. Oh my gosh. So that's the next thing to try to figure out if there is any other option that you can legally pull up, you can clearly see in which he is getting the revenue from. Because like I said, even when it comes to his name, he wasn't even on that. James Mason was. So that's why I knew about this other guy being a fake ass manager. Like, you ain't on the paperwork, bro. I don't give a fuck what you hold up in front of no camera. You ain't on the paperwork. You out here fabricating shit, and ain't nobody got time for that. Uh oh, little baby up. So somebody asked, can they not charge all the other crooked people involved until this trial is over? Um, I'm just being honest with you. I feel like it's a lot of informants helping the prosecutors. Okay? And the reason why I say that is because in the indictments you have them talking about this extortion plot. Now, on Surviving R. Kelly, they had that damn Kim Jansen. He was one of the first people I mentioned on Twitter, and he actually responded. But I basically was telling him that what he said basically sounds like extortion because he was basically playing back what happened because he was at the first trial. So number one, you on Surviving R. Kelly replaying the fact that you were in trial, you got this number off listening to the defense question Lisa Van Allen, you get in contact with these janky ass people who allegedly have a tape that is supposed to be child porn, and you tweet about this publicly. You detail this extortion plot publicly. The government details this extortion plots on the indictment, and ain't none of them charged. What does that say? Told you. They building this case, trying to glue it together any way possible. So, when you got people out here just doing stupid shit to help them, you can see where my frustration comes from. How do you have the girl who's discredited in the first trial coming back being included in these indictments, possibly being given yet another immunity deal to get on here and say that I was sleeping with underage girls? I was not being threatened. It was not a matter of life and death. I did this willingly. Makes no sense. Even when you got people like Kitty Jones who were trying to insinuate RL. However, if you paid attention to the shenanigans on social media, then they brought out this other name, this person named Juice. So then you would notice they keep flip flopping the facts of RL with this Andrea Payton person. So all this stuff, this is the type of content I've been trying to piece together. What happened? I'm a very visual person. I like to see what went left because these people have told so many different versions of these stories. And regardless, I don't understand how the black community can sit there and say, well, this man did this, he should be in jail, But we're gonna parade these women up on stage, give them an award, them up on interviews. Makes no sense. Juice is Andrea Payton. Let me show you a picture of Juice. Because, like I told you all, grown little boy recognized that I was putting a lot of things that he was helping them put on the internet. So, quite naturally, see how that went. Let me see. Okay, let me share this right quick. Quit. What? Okay, stop. What? Mommy. That is Andrea Payton. That is who the stories would interchange in between RL and her. Apparently, she's supposed to be a friend to RL. She was around during all that time. She was doing the same things that RL was supposed to be doing. He said, "What went left is Tim Savage." Well, the thing is, people skipped the step. People reached out to Tim Savage. Now, I don't think they knew what a clout chaser this motherfucker was. So that went left, you know, and I feel like that because if you just look at everything that went on these YouTube streets, as they say, it's all these older women and all these other people trying to sit in the back and dictate what people do, right? It's kind of similar. Like these people want you to come out here and do shit, but they don't estimate, they underestimate the fact if people decide to do their own thing at any point. And Dame Dash, he know he full of shit. That absolutely makes no sense. And the thing that bothers me about this whole thing, and these people keep bringing up Aaliyah name, for example, is because, as I said, I was a fan of Aaliyah. Now, the way they portrayed her, as I've shown you a lot of the photos, if you saw those photos, you would think Aaliyah was out here just thotting, being passed around from this person to this person, talking to best friend over here, best friend over here. An article just came out saying that Aaliyah was in a secret relationship with Static Major, whom is another witness who could have testified to the fact that she always had people around her when she traveled, except for the incident when she lost her life. However, she did have her dancers and her crew with her, but when I said have somebody with her, I was speaking about family. Hey. Let's end it on one song. I didn't even know they kicked me out. I'm sitting here like, why the numbers dropping now? What did I do? Y'all have a good night. Hey, catch y'all on the next one. Until then, we don't fold, we don't break. Free Kelly, baby.